and Pinocchio and Geppetto and everyone, and we love the mashup quality, you know, and that's what's fun. To have a scene where the Mad Hatter and the evil queen from Snow White are seeing the hookah-smoking caterpillar played by Roger Daltrey is really our dream come true. So
that's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
April asks, oh, this is a basic one, but one we haven't talked about. What is Mr. Gold's first name?
Gotta keep watching.
Yeah. We've never said it.
Yeah. I mean, look, names
Who knows if he has it?
Yeah, names are clearly a very important thing to Mr. Gold, Rumpelstiltskin, so, you know, it's been a conscious decision to not say it.
He was a very exciting character from the start, of course, especially as we wondered just how much does this guy know or not know? How did you decide when it was time to pull the trigger and really have him be one of the other first characters to say, I know what's going on?
Well, I think we wanted, you know, we wanted to kind of tease it out because we loved the way, you know, we didn't know what he knew.
Right.
But what we liked is what made him admit it was something just purely emotional and purely through character, which is he just, you know, he was willing to do it because he wanted that cup, which showed his love for Belle. And so we kind of, when we were talking about that story, thought that was the time.
Okay, we've got next question here from Bilal, who asks, the Mad Hatter brought Regina's dad back to life. Where is he now? And will we find out what happened to him?
Well, she did bring him, well, he was a small guy inside a box, and, you know, a little bit of the food made him larger in Alice in Wonderland rules, but we did find out what happened to him in episode 2. Unfortunately, to enact the curse, Regina had to give up the thing she loved most, which was her father's heart. So he unfortunately died so that the curse could be unleashed.
Unleashed, yes.
Yeah.
Let's see, Deedles. Is that your real name, Deedles? Deedles asks, who is the quirkiest cast member behind the scenes of Once Upon a Time?
Quirkiest? Jenny.
Which Jenny would that be?
Jennifer Goodwin
Okay.
might be the quirkiest in the sense. Oh, I don't know if they're quirky is the right word.
I'd say the quirkiest is Jared because he's a kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like kids are just, you know, I mean, he's so smart and he's like so talented that it's you know, it's just he's always surprising you with the things he says.
They're all, you know, the thing about the cast is they're all great and they're all fun, and they love to have things like, you know, I think Ginny threw a mustache party where everyone had to come in a mustache, and you know, they're all fun and great and creative people.
Does Jared throw you some interesting questions from his point of view about what's going on?
Yeah. I mean, he's very inquisitive and about the character in the show, but he's also really insightful about it.
And he just won a Young Artist Award last weekend.
Yeah, so we're very, very happy for our
Proud
Jared.
of our little, yeah, Jared.
In general, does your cast, you know, I know there's always a thing on a show that has a lot of reveals. Are they coming to you asking, you know, what's going to happen next, what's going to happen next, or do they just go, they're going to keep that stuff until they want us to know about it?
You know, they asked, but they've actually been, you know, real patient, and they seem to enjoy reading the scripts as they come, and you know.
We've usually talked to them before,
Yeah.
so they kind of know what's coming ahead. You know, not the specifics, but the arc.
Yeah, we like try to give them the big picture of what's happening.
Right. Got the next question here from Priscilla, and she asks, is Henry's father coming into the picture? And this is, again, another one I know people are wondering about a lot.
You know, look, we obviously have made a big deal in episode 9 that she lied about who his father was and said he was no hero. So that is definitely a mystery we will answer. It just won't be this season.
Yeah, we asked that question because it's important to the show, and we do want to get to it, but you know, that's for the future.
I'm sure there's a conversation you've had yourself about how, you know, on one hand it could be intriguing if he's a fairy tale character, but on the other hand it could be intriguing if he's not, just to like bring in that other kind of energy about it.
Yes. Yeah. No. Definitely.
Yeah. Could be.
Was this fair to say a little bit of back and forth you guys had about?
Well, we know who the father is.
You do.
It's just when we
choose to reveal.
It's,
you know, it's like anything. It's like it's finding the right moment in the life of a show to reveal certain things, and you want to intrigue the audience, get them interested, and then satisfy them with the answers at the right time, and that's the tricky dance.
Now I have the next question here from Michelle, who asks, where did Snow White get the Book of Stories?
Amazon.
Amazon.
That must
She's
probably
got
cost a lot.
2-day Prime. Well, she found them, and how she got them is something we haven't really revealed. What she believes is that she just had the book in her house because of the curse and gave it to Henry.
But like everything, there's probably a manipulation behind that.
Yeah,
in
there's
some
probably
way.
a story yet to be told.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people wondered if August was going to end up being the person who wrote that book, and he wasn't. But safe to say we should be curious about who wrote that book
Yeah, I would definitely
Absolutely.
want to know who wrote it.
Yeah.
and who drew it. Same person.
Yes.
Let's see here. We've got again another name I might not get great here, but Nieves asks, "Is there a place for Henry in the fairy tale world?" I mean, since he didn't originate there, I guess.
Well, that's a very good question, which is, exactly what is his place? Would he be able to go back? Would he not be able to go back? And I think those are all things that we will, hopefully someday explore.
This is a question you probably cannot answer. I'm going to throw it at you anyway, which is, should we assume that the fairy tale world is out there but kind of empty
Well,
right
I
now?
think we should assume that,
we don't know.
We don't. What we've shown you is there was this world and a curse hit, and then the characters went here.
So we don't know if the whole world went here and got transformed. We don't know what's happened.
We're almost
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's an excellent question.
Thank you. We're almost at the time for the Tron section of this, but we're going to wrap up here with Once Upon a Time. And we've got a question from Cheryl who asks, did Mr. Gold know from the beginning, or was it when Emma came to town that he regained his memories?
It's when Emma came to town.
When he heard her name.
When he heard her name in the pilot.
Which is why he was asking for her name in the jail cell. And then you see it when he says, Emma, what a lovely name.
With with Mr. Gold sort of knowing, on one hand, it could be fun if other characters know, but on the other hand, I assume you don't want the floodgates to open at once. But have you talked about sort of all these characters we met and how much, how close they might be to getting to the truth, or how not?
Well, I think that each character, as we've seen this year, even Grumpy, Leroy, and Storybrooke, you're starting to see a little bit of who they were coming out, and there's a little more of those personality. It's the way Mary Margaret kicked the Mad Hatter, and she didn't know where that came from. So there's definitely,
even when they don't know, bits of who they were
Yeah.
are coming to the surface.
And as we wrap up the one section, is there anything else you want to tease about this finale coming this Sunday that people should be
I
looking for?
I just want to thank everyone who's been watching
Yeah.
and supporting the show and tuning in, and we really hope you check it out and like what we're showing you. We're very proud of it.
yeah, we're very proud of it, and we're very, very, we thank all the fans
Yeah.
that have watched it this year and supported it, because that's, the reason we do it and work hard, and hopefully you'll like the finale.
How long was this sort of finale in the conception? Because you knew obviously you had to sort of leave on a big note. Was this something you for many weeks ahead of time you go, okay, what do we have to save for the finale? What do we wait
Months.
Yeah, I mean, you
Months.
have to, at least for us, we have to kind of know what we're building to be able to write towards it. So we had to, kind of plan for it for a long time. So it was
And
very
it's
exciting.
the finale.
Yeah.
With these characters, especially with you've got these little moments where, like we talked about with Prince Charming having his memories and coming glimmers here and there. Do you think some of them just would never accept it because it is so much to be told one thing, but to actually accept it? Are there characters that maybe would just turn their back on that fairy tale
Well,
world?
there might be, and I think Jefferson warned us what happens when you have two conflicting realities in your head.
Sure, we're going to throw in one last question here on the Once Upon a Time section. And this is a specific one, kind of following up on something we talked about earlier, which is, why did you name the evil queen Regina? Kind of asking, like Emma Swan, where did that name come
Well,
from?
Regina, I believe, is Latin for queen.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So, not necessarily evil if you got the name
No.
Regina.
Was it Latin?
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
Italian.
No, it was Latin for queen.
In general, how much discussion did you have to have about all these characters' names and what they're, because you could have gone a lot more closer. You could have had just have it sound very similar to their name, but how much did you think about what the name should be?
A lot, we put a lot of thought into it, and of course, like on Lost, all the names meant something, so I think that was something that was just kind of burned into us.
All right, guys, we're not going anywhere. We're about to go into another show you guys have coming. There's no rest for you guys.
No.
With Tron Uprising, which is a new animated series on Disney XD. Again, we're going to take fan questions. You can continue to ask questions on the Once Upon a Time Facebook page. You can also ask questions at facebook.com/DisneyXD or facebook.com/Tron. But first, we're going to start off here with an exclusive debut of a 3-minute microsode from Tron. So here it is from Tron Uprising.